So I'm going to show you a pitched roof that I've created in Country Crossing. This is a triple pitched roof. This is a double pitched roof, all perfectly aligned. You can't do this as standard. There's quite a few techniques going on in this build. I might cover some of these at some point, particularly this staircase and the banister. You can have a look how I did this banister effect. I was searching quite a while for a white piece that goes along the top like that. So I used two of those, whatever they're called, back to back, and also one of those. They all clip together to make one tile. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to do these pitched roofs. I'm going to show you what Bethesda thinks a pitched roof should look like. This is what happens if you just do this as standard with the standard snap feature. You can see it already, it's looking pretty shit. It's not something that you'd want in your build. It's pretty unrealistic. Yeah, not great. Now I'm going to show you what Limmy thinks a pitched roof should look like. By the way, these tricks are going to need a good knowledge of group select. If you don't know how to do this, I'm not going to help you out in this video. You're going to have to search around. Alright, so I'm lowering this, these two pieces just so they're easier to work with. I'm using this concrete block because it's actually much easier to pick up objects with it. A lot of people nowadays are raving about this concrete pillar. You know, I've preached about it, it's fantastic, it's very good for intricate techniques. If you're doing something basic like this, ideally, if you've got the space and you can afford it, you want to use a concrete block like this. Look at the space that's in between the pillar, in between this foundation block and the object. There's so much space, it's so easy to work with. Also, you don't have any issues with the height adjustments like you do with the concrete pillar. If you played around with it enough, you'll know what I mean. This is much easier to use. If you can afford the space, just do it. All I've done there is just use the visual cues to match up these two pieces to make sure they're perfectly aligned. Any group select trick, that's all you're ever doing, using the camera and the visual cues to make sure that you've aligned these. If you've done it well, you're going to create two snapping points. That's the original snapping point. This is the new snapping point. That's useful to know because you really want to use the original snapping point. So if you're changing out these pieces, just be mindful that you need to use the old snapping point, not the new one. You'll see there that the end isn't really looking flush right now. That's not an issue. It's something that you'll fix in a minute. In fact, everything else you're going to do from now on, well, besides raising the roof, is really just going to be snapping it into place. That's a technique that you need to use if you want to get extra height on your roof. I know a lot of people won't be used to building roofs first. It's quite counterintuitive. I mean, it's something that I've been doing from the beginning of the game, but I can appreciate that's going to be new to quite a few people. I'm going to show you what this slanted roof looks like. I mean, that's just a perfectly aligned roof, something that should have been in the game to begin with. You can see how this wall isn't particularly flush at the moment. You don't have to worry about that. Once you start snapping things into place, that's going to be well covered. In fact, everything else is plain sailing from here on. The only really difficult thing was aligning those two slanted walls. which actually is a very easy technique. The visual cues on that and at that particular camera angle make it really easy. So if you copied that, then you're going to be fine. Any problems, just ask. Cheers.